going to see that outside line work well.
Never mind. You're not in. That was pretty good. All right. Try that again. No. Man. I don't know anymore. I don't think it's gonna work, guys. Default. Alright, this one.
Yeah, hey, hello. Is it working? Woohoo! All right, here we go again. I'm ready. Okay. Good morning, race fans. Hopefully we're finally getting the technical difficulties worked out here, but welcome to another exciting edition of Bonfire Racing League action. This is going to be the very first race of the playoffs for this season here at Daytona International Speedway, one I've been looking forward to. Had it circle on the calendar for quite a while here. We are getting toward the end of qualifying time, so let's introduce the rest of the broadcast booth really quick. First and foremost, we've got Seattle's finest, Peter Lee in the house. Peter, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Good morning from Seattle, although good evening in virtual Daytona.
Indeed, this is going to be fun to watch too with Pim's amazing cameras. Speaking of Pim's amazing cameras, Pim is with us today. Pim, do you got a copy on us here?
I got a copy on you guys, but it's a hard work to get this playoffs get going. We're completely new in that, and that does make we have to make some adjustments. But I think we're ready. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, I'm sure we've got some dedicated fans out there that'll let us know if things start getting a little goofy. But yeah, it looks like we're rocking and rolling. It wouldn't be the playoffs without a little hiccup there to begin things. But also joining us today, Liam. How you doing, buddy?
Good, and I am very excited for this Daytona race.
You are. What are you most excited about?
The Rockets.
The Rockets, indeed. Well, we're going to be approaching 200 miles an hour here with these updated draft packages. So it does look like we're going to be gridding. So, Pim, let's take a look at where our playoff contenders are going to be stacked out here to begin the race.
Well, we have them up front right now. We see Kevin Bullock in the lead. I'm not sure. You guys have to help me. So I know that he's in the playoffs. Joey Stiers is in the playoffs. We have a new driver on the third position, Simon Segrist. He's not in the playoffs, but great to see him over here. Marshall Scully is on the fourth position. And maybe you guys can go along. I think Justin Gann is there on fifth.
Indeed. Looks like Nick Mills also in playoff contention there in sixth, as well as David Medina. Same with Jared Olson. So we got quite a pack up here in the top 10 of playoff competitive drivers. And then, of course, Josh Thompson, Justin Malarkey, George Jewell, another playoff driver there in 11th spot. Rusty Pottenberg, Sean Cheeseman, also a playoff contender. In 13th, Jared Kelly is also in the playoffs. Yes, so I didn't think it was there. No, absolutely. Jared Kelly and David Buell. Same with Ryan Twynham, Dennis Puckett. Going down to 17th spot there. Looks like Gary Wright will be right behind that pack of playoff drivers, along with Buddy Sally, Robbie Cheeseman, Lewis Mitchell, Alexander Gray, Brandon Meyer, Jeff Pfeiffer, and Chad Hitchcock, Eric Thornton, Nate Maurer, who's joining us live from a hotel room. So playoff contender Nathan Maurer really going above and beyond to make the race here today. We're excited to see that. Justin White, who looks like the power came back on for him. Congratulations on that, Justin. And hope for a good day for him. Sid Butler and then Greg Snellbaker will round out the field today, and we are rolling.
This is going to be an 82-lap race on this incredibly important high-banked oval, 2.5 miles around. And we've been informed by Sean Cheeseman that the pit window will open at around lap 28 for these cars. So we do expect them to have to make at least 2 stops for fuel. They do get 4 sets of tires to work with. And we expect to see just a lot of close bump drafting and packs forming throughout the race.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of good feedback from this updated aero package on these Gen 6 cars here, which is going to lead to actually 2 viable racing lines, assuming you can keep the cars bump drafting together, packed together. So that'll be something to watch out for as we continue on. And we are rounding turn 3 here. Leader will start the race on the green flag for this very first run through. And that'll, yeah, I'm excited, guys. This is kicking off the playoffs.
It's our first playoff, so that's going to be exciting. I'm really curious how these races go. We know there's a lot of tactics, but yeah, we're coming up here to the last final round. See if is Joey Styres immediately going to attack over here. And they are off. Look at that. We're going for the first round over here.
Does look like everybody's able to maintain a line and kind of find their spot. This is a long race, as you mentioned, 82 laps, so no reason to get too crazy right off the bat. It does look like Joey Styres is going to maintain that top line and try to drag the 63 of Marshall Scully along with him, and Nick Mills just behind that.
So, Chris, what do you think of tactics? What do we have to expect to see?
One of the biggest things is
regular.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is just the team aspect. So we've got 2 large teams with Focum and Rev Racing, probably the largest teams out there. Of course, then you've got Simbox as well, a little smaller team, and a bunch of free agents, if you will. So trying to get these guys recruited into your draft pack is going to go a long way. And especially if we can stay green, green flag pit stops, being able to coordinate, going in and getting out at the same time as your teammates. I think that's going to be take the.
There's also a little bit of.
Go ahead.
There's also a little bit of a race within a race because we have the top 14 playoff contenders. Their season points have been reset to 2,000, and so they are in an elimination situation. They need to finish better than their other playoff contenders, and then of course there's the race with the entire pack. And so
we already got contact in the front. 88 and Nick Mills is going to take the big one happened already, folks. We're going to take out a lot of cars here.
That was a major crash.
That was big.
Who wasn't involved in this?
Wow, 3 laps in, and this is going to have major playoff implications here. It looks like some folks were able to...
Let's have a quick look what exactly happened. We see Simon Seagrass hitting, I think it's Nick Mills over there, and that's where that whole action started. And then, yeah, what's left of it is...
Kevin Bullock was also then knocked into by Nick Mills. And Kevin might be okay, but then he hit the 999 car of Simon Striga. So welcome to the Bonfire Racing League, who then hit playoff contender Jared Olson.
Well, who didn't hit anybody? It's like there's a complete group over here. Look at this. It's going very, very, I'm very curious. I see Justin Gann right in the middle over there.
Yep.
I see. Look at Ryan Twyman. He's looks like he's in a fancy fair or something. He's doing.
Yep. David Medina was in the wall. Boy.
David Medina was in the wall. Oh no.
David Buell, another playoff contender, also right into the back of Rusty Pontenberg, and George Jewell. Just wow. It's going to take us a little time, I think, guys, to sort out what this looks like when we get back to a restart.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is going to be a mess. It does look like we're coming around with the pit car here. Let's see if leader Joey Steyers decides to do anything. I mean, obviously, all these drivers are going to have to come in and start trying to get their crews to work on getting the dents out. Very, it should go without saying, very aero-dependent track here. So any sort of nicks or cuts on the and dents on the car are going to.
And while we're talking about that, we're looking up here with David Medina, who was driving on that inside line, and I don't think he could ever see that much on it. He sees Nick Mills going wrong, and then, basically it goes all the way wrong.
Nick Mills, Rusty Pondberg, Buddy Sally, Alex Gray, and Simon Srigas all had to tow their car. So that's probably a sign of very significant damage. And then, of course, everyone except Joey Steyers, Marshall Scully, and George Jewell has decided to pit. Dennis Puckett just emerging from his pit stop.
So George Jewell and Joey Steyers, they're playoff contenders. But, that's the whole field, folks.
Wow.
Well, Liam.
We didn't expect that one.
I know. Liam, were you expecting to crash that early?
No, that was the biggest crash that early I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I'm trying to think of the last time I've seen the big one happen on lap 3 there. So, holy cow! Hopefully,
especially with these drivers, maybe we've been spoiled. We've expected these drivers really to keep it clean. In fact, we usually guess wrong in our weekly game of how many full course cautions do we expect. And,
but is this, Peter, is this playoffs nerves? Is this making it even more exciting? And look at this. We see Joey Steyers, Scully, Jewell, and Dennis Puckett, who are relatively clean. They gotta be so lucky.
Yes.
Well, it's the age-old question at super speedways like this. Where do you want to try to start? Do you try to qualify up front? Do you want to hang back in the back of the pack and wait for a spot to start working your way up to the front, try to stay out of the fray? And usually the answer to that question is only answered after the race. And here we go. I think the answer to the question right now is, yeah, you probably should have started up front. But
amongst the playoff contenders, it's looking just, there are dents and scratches, but it's looking like Joey Steyers, George Jewell, Dennis Puckett, and Nate Moore are looking pretty clean.
Yeah, they look pretty clean, Peter, but we do see David Medina. Luckily, he is out. The bad part is that he has no front anymore. But I remember our last race here at Daytona, last season. Do you remember Clayton Ham? Clayton Ham, who had the same part. I think he looked very similar to David Medina, and he actually came up to that 4th position. So I don't think it's all lost here at this race. Daytona, you can have some damage. If you can still follow in that draft, then you're good to go. But it will be a long, long road for David Medina.
Yeah. Well, an even longer road for Nick Mills, who is still in the pits. Hopefully he'll get some repairs done as quickly as possible and get back out on the road. But amongst the playoff contenders, he's now in last place out of the 14.
Yeah, and how perfect is this going for Joey Steyers? Has all his team members right up front over there. Oh, and I do see already the pit car going in, and we're already going live. Look at this. Not even the whole track is, not all the whole field is there, but we are going and going again. Joey Steyers takes that 1st position. Scully is in the middle over there. Jewell is trying to see if he can catch on. But Joey Steyers is on fire. Look at that.
Yeah, with still some cars remaining that don't have damage, though, Joey would be probably smart to not get that big of a gap, because you can see what a run you can get with that momentum. George Jewell able to suck right back up to the bumper, and that's going to leave an opening. Look at Justin Larkin in that 73 car go to the outside and follow Puckett around as well. That's going to leave Marshall Scully in the lead overall the race. And look at this freight train coming on the outside there. Joey Steyer's kind of helpless to defend it.
Yeah, I'm very curious what we're going to do over here. I do see that there's already a second group forming a little bit. We go a little bit more to the back. Let's have a good. I see here Ryan Twyman, 17th position, can't hold on. His car looked really good actually from that earlier crash. I'm just a little bit surprised that he doesn't have the speed over here.
That's true.
That's...
And that is a second pack, though, that's formed with Ryan Twynham, Sid Butler, Lewis Mitchell, Sean Cheeseman, David BRL, Jared Olson, David Medina.
Oh, let me go wrong. 73. The 73 hits the number 1 over there, and they go all back. Dennis Puckett can go get out of that, but Justin Gann is going to get hit. And we don't get a yellow. What's this?
Caution? Interesting.
No caution.
I will never understand.
And we're just continuing, and that makes it for
go.
Dennis. Oh, I was just thinking. Dennis Puckett and Scully were going or running away.
Wow.
Well, we haven't spoken about the yellows yet, but man, how many lucky dogs are we going to get in this race?
So,
all right, let's. What happened, Peter?
You know, it's. I'm just trying to sort out that incident. Justin Malarkey really got very, very sideways and just started to set off a little bit of a chain reaction. And what I'm not able to determine is if the number 1 car of Eric Thornton maybe got a little bit. It looks like Eric Thornton might have just gone a little off center in bump draft, and the two of them really then just set off a chain reaction of and really left nowhere for the cars behind them to go.
Yeah, that we were talking about that pre-race. Bump drafting here is much improved, but remaining centered is still key because you can see it does not take much to get these cars sideways.
Yeah.
I actually think there were multiple accidents happening because Robbie Cheeseman has also crashed. George Jewell has crashed over there. It was a mad show.
Well, and we are seeing now, you know, Dennis Puckett, you know, Marshall Scully, Justin Malarkey, Justin Gann, Gary Wright, Joey Stars. You know, again, huge number of drivers opting to pit. Eric Thornton, Josh Thompson, Chad Hitchcock, Jared Kelly, Ryan Twynham, and Sid Butler are staying out.
It does look like George Jewell and Robbie Cheeseman made contact after the big wreck. It looked like they had cleared it, and then collecting each other there on the back stretch. So, holy cow.
In terms of playoff contenders, you know, we have Jared Kelly, Ryan Twynham, and Dennis Puckett now in the lead.
I guess the silver lining here is that nearly all of the playoff cars are now damaged, so I guess it's going to be a battle of the battered. It's
And look at Dennis Puckett, how he gets away with that. He didn't have much luck going through this, going through the playoffs, but that was a lucky move. He just barely hit anything.
While we're in this formation lap for restart after our second full course caution, we can explain about the playoffs. This is the 15th race of the Bonfire Premier Cup season, and for this 15th race we have our first playoffs, and that means the top 14 drivers in the point standings have their points reset to 2,000 points, and so when we talk about these playoff contenders, we're talking about those 14 drivers. They are essentially starting a brand new season within the season.
Yeah, and then Chris, my question would be, so it's not really necessary to be number 1 like Kelly is right now in those playoffs contenders, but just not to be number 14. Am I correct in that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're going to dig yourself. There's, I believe, 3 races this round. You probably correct me if I'm wrong about that later. But so not all is lost just because of one bad race. However, you will be digging yourself out of a hole there instead of, you know, going into the next race, next 2 races actually, that would potentially, a little bit of a cushion on the rest of the drivers. So that clearly there's one of those is more favorable than the other, but it's just important for the drivers right now to remember that this is not the end of the playoffs yet. It's 11 laps.
It's not the end of the playoffs, but it's not a great start. And I do have to say, I already see the lights are off. So the people that are now into the pit, they have to come out very quickly because they're going to be delayed already.
Well, and again, we now are seeing Kevin Bullock and Nick Mills in the pits. So their cars are severely damaged, and they are two of our playoff contenders. David Buell is quickly trying to catch up to the back of the field for this restart, along with David Medina and Jared Olson.
Wow.
Meanwhile, we do have Eric Thornton as our race leader, so he'll set up our race start in the number 1 car.
And we're off again, and I don't think he can hold that first position, or does he get that push? And I do see that Ryan Twyman is back up there. So maybe it was just a really bad start from him, but he's back up in that field right now. Looks very clean.
He does indeed, and Jared Kelly as well. Something is happening. Joey Stars dropping back in the pack, so it's looking almost certain that Joey's car has some severe damage of some type, and so he's going to try to stay out of the way.
May just be trying to keep everybody in front of him there so he can have a view of what's going on, but he did drop back pretty far there. It looks like Josh Thompson's going to take us around here for the start of lap 13 in that 54 car, and we've single filed out all the way to the top. What is that? 9, 10, yeah. Although, look at Justin Gann hanging strong with the SK modified car that he's got there in the number 30.
I'd like to welcome Kevin Bullock into the broadcast booth. Kevin, boy, what a crazy start and unfortunate one for you.
Good morning. Yeah, it's crazy out there. This new draft package is pretty wild.
That's a good choice of words there. I'm sure you're feeling a little frustrated. Are you officially out? Is the damage too bad on that car of yours?
Yeah, I've got eight minutes of repairs, so I just went ahead and just called it quits. But no, I mean, they trying to bump draft in the turns, and you just can't do it. So it's kind of chaos out there.
Yeah, and it looks like they're now taking a little bit more careful of that. Ryan Twyman is in the lead currently with Kelly and Malarkey right behind there. So Kevin, what does this mean for you for the playoffs?
I probably put a big dent in that. So we'll see what happens.
Got Kansas to look forward to next week already. Is that a track that you're feeling comfortable at?
Yeah, Kansas is pretty good. Maybe I can bounce back, see what we can do there. But yeah, this race right here is going to be wild. I see Justin Gann still out there. He's doing pretty decent. I think there's a lot of cars out there that are hurt, so whoever stayed out of the damage.
There's a lot of cars that are hurt. You're absolutely right. And we're currently looking at that first group, and they're still really making a lot of speed right now. I see Kelly is taking the first position. Scully is going over to second. I think that that second line is a little bit slower. Don't have enough people to really push that car. And that you notice that Ryan Twyman is also falling a little bit back, but big groups over here. So what do you prefer, Kevin? More the outside line or the inside line in Daytona?
So if I'm going to call it right, I'm going to say that outside line you can get a good run as long as you got some people that can actually stay in line and push. But usually it's going to probably be, you know, you're going to go to the top, but then you're going to get to the bottom as quick as you can. But that when that outside line forms up, they're going to get a good run.
Well, currently they don't have that run going, but that's maybe also because not all their team members are there. If we go a little bit further in the pack, we see that Joey Styres has formed that second pack with Justin White and Dennis Puckett right behind him. And even George Jewell is right behind them. If they can come back to that original pack, I'm not sure on timing wise. Are they coming any closer, guys?
Yeah, I was just keeping an eye on that. I think that they are working together pretty well, and they're slowly making their way, closing the gap up to this lead pack of 10. And so just to reset that order, we do have Jared Kelly, Marshall Scully, Ryan Twynham, Chad Hitchcock, Justin Malarkey, Eric Thornton, Josh Thompson, Sid Butler, Gary Wright, and Nate Moore in this lead pack. That's the top 10. But to your point, Pim, Joey Styres, Justin White, Dennis Puckett, George Jewell have formed a pretty effective pack, and I think they're trying to work together to get caught up there.
See Ryan Twine taking the lead there. That outside line, just like I was just talking about there, as they try to pass the.
Oh, and we do see the number 1 going off there, but he can hold it on. That was a little bump or whatever it was in that boat, but that does mean that whole pack is gonna scatter around a little more.
It looked like Chad Hitchcock got banished to the Shadow Realm and almost took somebody with him. I don't know exactly what happened there, but holy cow, we've really splintered the field by quite a bit.
And then we have 5 people left. Look at that. Top 5 is close together. Then we have a little gap with Butler and Nate Moore is not on his regular rig, Chris. What have you heard about that?
Yeah, racing from a hotel room, which man after my own heart there. I'm broadcasting from a hotel room, so glad that he was able to make that work. It does seem like his internet connection is holding strong, as is his car. I mean, he's been hanging out, but he's up 20 spots overall. He was one of the drivers who decided to start in the back. I'm sure some of that had to do with the fact that he was a little unsure of his connection on the hotel Wi-Fi, but he's been just plodding along, and he's on the tail end of that lead pack right now.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
if you look
too
at
sure what happened to Chad Hitchcock, but he went back into the pits, and he might have just decided he needs more repairs than he thought, and so just trying to be careful.
Yeah, I
and
also
wise.
see Eric Thornton go in to the pit.
Yep.
So they're now going already, a lot of people going into the pit, and we still are looking here at that top 5 with Justin Malarkey, not a contester for the playoffs, but definitely always a contester for the race. Ryan Twyman, I have not seen him yet win a race, so very good to see him here on the front, and maybe this is his day. We see Kelly right behind there, Scully, and of course Thompson. And I think that Butler and Moore are also getting back to this pack. So this pack is getting a little bit bigger.
So Liam, we've got a crazy race here so far. A lot of playoff contenders are out right now. We've got Malarkey, Twynham, Kelly, Scully, like we just ran down. Do you have any early favorites for the race win?
I think that I don't know yet. Probably.
You don't know yet? All right, well, let us know when it
look at
comes
that.
to.
There's a lot of split racers.
There is. I think these lead packers have a bit of an advantage right now, but as we've seen, one little slip and the whole complexion of the race can change once again. So nobody's safe. We'll see who can strap on the most amount of rockets to their car and get to the finish.
Yeah, indeed, Liam. I don't blame you for not having a prediction right now. It's been a crazy start to this race, to say the least. You know, I'm just noticing there's a little pack of 2 with playoff driver George Jewell working together with Gary Wright, and so that's a third pack of 2. They are on the lead lap, but they are a good, I don't know, 3-4 seconds behind, 4 seconds behind the pack being led by Joey Styres. So they've got their work cut out for them. But, you know, it's a long race, and another yellow will close that gap up right away.
Oh yeah, and I do see that George Jewell is blinking out, so that's going to be even more difficult for Gary to hold on. But you were right, Gary Wright is 6 positions up. The guy behind him, Jeffrey Pfeiffer, is 11 spots up. He's in that bigger pack going on with Rusty Pontenberg right behind him and Justin Gann. But this is a little bit more our victims of different things, because Justin Gann doesn't look that right, and I think they're all having a little bit of damage.
Yeah.
And having their own race within the race.
Eric Gordon has come back out of the pits, so hopefully his car's in a little bit better shape now.
The leaders have just passed the 9 and the 52. The 52 of David Buell was the last driver on the lap, making him the current Yellow Dog contender. Next up, Sean Cheeseman now in a 2 pack with 35 there. Jared Olson, who's already more than a lap down, so these two will try their best to hold off that lead pack. Looks like they're just about a straightaway ahead right now. But yeah, we're currently down to 15 drivers on the lead lap.
I see we've lost Kevin Bullock. So going back, I'm sure to check on the repairs to his car. But I'm noticing on track that the drivers do appear to be getting a little bit more conservative. We're not seeing as much bump drafting now, and so I wonder if there was some discussion on track during that last full course caution.
Yeah, not any discussion. It's comes self-critiquing pretty quick. You know, everybody kind of wants to make it to the end of the race. The old adage, right? In order to finish first, you must first finish. A lot of these drivers finally realize that this is going to be a war of attrition here. Yeah, that
indeed, I'm now seeing Kevin Bullock back out on track. So indeed, that does explain why he's left the broadcast booth. He's back in his car, and he's going to try to race.
There you go. And I think that's the right call there, as frustrating as it can be to go out there and run laps at half the speed of the rest of the drivers. But as we've seen, something else can happen. You can gain a spot or two in the playoffs overall, just by going out there and running those laps. If something happens to another contender here before too long, that could buy him some spots.
I'm just really curious if he was just thinking, you know, while he was watching with us, and like, hey, I actually have a chance. Let's go back out.
Right. Let's get out there. Exactly.
Well, we're going here at the front where they're having some trouble with some back markers, but I think the whole group is coming back. I do see that Joey Stiers is really getting strong, and Justin White right behind him as well. Together with Puckett, they're going to go back to that first group. By the way, Justin White, 19 positions up. He is really doing well.
Also doing really well is Sid Butler in the 37. He's at the tail end right in front of Nate Maurer there. He's up 23 spots overall, and we haven't really talked about Sid yet.
We haven't talked much about Sid, and the thing is, we always see him in the Sunday night Skippy races, and then we don't talk much about him as well. So let's have a quick look at him, because he's doing really well. 6th position. I'm not sure. I haven't seen him made a top 5 yet, so he will be very excited to stay with this group and to keep it on a green level. We're 27 laps in. This looks very good. It looks like the team has been settled.
Absolutely. As they pass Sean Cheeseman in the 76, that now puts 14 drivers on the lead lap. And Jeff Pfeiffer, the 85, who's on the tail end of another group led by Justin Gann there.
Meanwhile, Joey Stiers, Justin White, Dennis Puckett, that group that had been working together, they have succeeded. They have caught up to this lead group now.
Well, it does look like things have settled down. We are, looks like Ryan Twinem's 23 laps into this current stint, whereas some of the other drivers, actually both he and Jared Kelly, 23 laps in. Some of the other drivers like Justin Larkey in the lead there, Marshall Scully, only 18 laps in. So we're gonna see this group splinter here. I have to imagine if this race stays green.
Right, and in fact, what we've been told is they'll have fuel for 28 to 30 laps, and so we should be seeing Ryan Twinem, Jared Kelly, Josh Thompson, Sid Butler, all of them are in their 25th lap right now on this fuel stint.
We aren't really split along team lines necessarily here, so I wonder if these drivers are trying to figure out who's going to be able to come with them. I do not envy the 73 car of Justin Larkey right now.
No, Malarkey is now trying to see if he can do that overtake. And look at that. Looks like a freight train. He is going so quickly. He has no troubles with those back markers. Going really, really quickly. Justin can. It's like he's not there. They're going past it. And the whole group is now getting past it. Curious to see if that's going to be all fine. And it looks like they do.
As they pass these drivers, they're going to try their best to hang on to the end of the pack and get that draft.
And it seems like the whole group is coming by, so that's really well done. And just again, he is trying to see if he can get that inside line and see if he can hold on to Nate Moore, but Joey Stiers is going in between that, and I think Dennis Puckett is now also, he needs to make that move.
I'm extending an olive branch to Justin Larkey over race radio. It looks like they're going to be coming in on lap 33, Rev Racing that is, and saying, "Hey, Justin, if you want to come with us, that's when we're going." Now it could be a ruse. Who knows?
This is now the tactic. Is this the real, or is it like, and we're all staying out? That will be. But I do believe. Ryan in his word, so
I would also, because remember, it's a race within a race. Ryan and Justin, of course, are racing against each other here at Daytona, but Ryan is also racing against the other 13 playoff contenders and is in the lead there. And
he'd be happy to have Justin Larkey burn up his fuel so he can draft and
yep. Yeah, that's right. Continues to work together, and yeah. Ryan can
Peter,
win amongst playoff contenders with Justin winning the race. I think that's
exactly, Peter. And do realize that it all started with Ryan Twyman. He was that first Rev Racing guy, and then he got Joey Stiers in there, and now like half the pack is Rev Racing. So he continues recruiting people, and Justin Malarkey, I think he will do that to see if he can come to the end. But Kelly and Scully are there as well. Thompson is there. Yeah, then Butler. What is he gonna do? Sid Butler, 23 positions up.
Yeah. The other pressure here is, as you know, when you're the leader, and in this case, Justin Malarkey and Ryan Twiner are both leaders, of these races within a race. You're a little exposed always on pit strategy because, Nate Marr, Justin White, Joey Stiers behind you, they can follow and they get more information about what to do by watching ahead.
Well, we should see the drivers come in pit. Justin Malarkey is not going to take them up on that offer.
Yeah.
And we see the 63 is going flat. Oh no!
That's Marshall Scully. And it looked like Marshall just had to brake a little too hard. He was caught up slowing down there and lost the rear end of the car. But anyway,
that means he will lose this group, Peter. That's going to be really, really different. I'm curious what Justin Malarkey is going to do.
So, Joey Stiers, Marshall Scully, Josh Thompson, Jared Kelly, Ryan Twynham, Dennis Puckett, Nate Moore, Sid Butler, Justin White all came in. Amongst the playoff contenders, George Jewell now takes over the lead and is running in P2 behind Justin Malarkey.
Yeah, Peter, but the whole group is already out, and Justin Malarkey says, well, if you guys go out, I go in. So he comes in here, but he misses completely, and he goes off the track, and he is that was a lot of speed. I'm not sure if that was enough to actually brake enough. Would he get a penalty?
Yeah. No, Justin Gann also in the pits, but with a
really rough sequence there for the 73.
Yeah, and this means really, really well for Ryan Twyman, because he was trying to help, but now he's suddenly right over there and he is going to pass Justin Malarkey. Justin Malarkey is just coming out of the pit, but that's going to be too late. He needs to be on pace, and Ryan Twyman is already there, fully ahead with Jared Kelly and Nate Moore right behind him.
Well, look at this. Malarkey's actually going to come out with quite a bit of distance. Now, obviously, they're going to catch him very, very easily here. But, yeah, he's going to be able to attach himself right to this front pack of Twynham, Kelly, and Maurer.
Well, we're driving along here with Ryan Twyman, and he is now really full up to speed, and he can see him right in front of him. Justin Malarkey is right there.
And, his pit time wasn't any... Well, no, I guess it was significantly faster. So, assuming he didn't get a speeding penalty on pit road...
Well, we'll see that he needs to go in, otherwise 3 laps. But it seems that Justin has got all the luck and now needs to give that room back to Ryan Twyman, and hopefully he can hold on to that. No, he can't. He doesn't have to do that. He is just going to hold on, and Ryan Twyman is going to follow him.
What a crazy sequence of events that was. I am not sure I'm understanding what the heck just happened.
The question is, how did Justin Malarkey do this with that pit entry mishap?
Yeah, and see Ryan Twyman is falling back.
Yeah, so that is going to leave Malarkey back out on an island by himself. I'm very confused.
Yeah,
Chris, I'm just really happy that you're confused, because I was really. But I think what's happening is that Ryan is waiting for Joey Styres.
There you go.
Ryan is a
was
real
right
teammate, and he's just gonna pick him up, and they're gonna go together. Maybe this is the answer of Justin Malarkey. You don't want to race with us? We're gonna race against you.
Pim, you've called it exactly right, because as soon as Joey caught up to Ryan Twyman, they've just caught right back up, and so now they are back right with Jared Kelly, and now we see Nate Moore falling back. Is he waiting for someone?
I don't think he has any friends. I'm not sure if he has any teammates over here, but maybe he's just giving Dennis Puckett a little bit of a chance to go in that group. Maybe Nate is going also to ref racing. You never know.
Justin Malarkey out there on an island, that opens up the opportunity for these drivers to be able to drop back pretty significantly to catch whoever, because 2 cars here, you can see there's just no chance for a single car to do that. So opens up a lot of windows of opportunities.
How crazy that Justin Malarkey is still in the front. How's that possible?
Well, no longer. Jared Kelly, Ryan Twyman, Joey Styres, Dennis Puckett. Just like a freight train, they've gone right around Josh Thompson. And Nate Moore is trying to get attached to that train.
Yeah, you can get to put the sticker ref racing on that train, because they are going. Look at that. And Nate Moore needs to pass that 54 car if he wants to follow, and he has difficulties with that.
I do believe that those cars are still in the draft cone, so we should see them catch up here pretty quick to the fact that we're bumper there with 12. That's Puckett. So.
All right.
Yeah,
so
look
what
at
do
this.
you think? I have a new tactic. What do you think? Justin Malarkey is going to try to see if he can work with Nate Moore. See if he can get into that pack of ref racing, because I'm not sure. Jared Kelly is still independent, isn't he?
He is rev racing as well.
He's ref racing as well. Look at that.
At least he's in the Discord. So
we have top 4.
It's gonna
top 4 is ref racing. Yeah, that's going to be very difficult to pass.
We may have to have a Focum Simbox alliance here to overcome.
The top 4 are road racing, just to verify that, and the top 4 are all in the playoffs.
Look at that. When we saw that first incident happening, we didn't thought that we were going to see this going on. Nice work from Kelly and Twyman.
I want to give a quick shout out to, we got Ian watching along with us here. Sorry, buddy, we didn't mean to ignore you. There's just been a lot of action going on here, but yeah, this is glad you could hang out with us and enjoy the craziness.
Yeah, and Jared Kelly is not going in, so he didn't have any troubles. Apparently, you can just go to the grass, and still be okay.
Yep.
Amazing job.
And just to go a little further back in the field, we've been looking a lot at the top 4, but it is a pack of 8. So Justin Malarkey, Nate Moore, Josh Thompson, Sid Butler are a part of that pack. And then a little further back are Justin White, George Jewell. They continue to try to work together. That's very important for Justin White and George Jewell, since they are also playoff contenders. They're having trouble kind of getting themselves caught back up, but they keep working at it. Justin White's maybe getting a little further ahead.
Yeah, and
They're
then
down
we
to
didn't
12.
talk about David Medina, 18th position. Man,
Yeah,
And not
and
the-
Jared Olson, 19th.
Definitely not the start that these guys wanted for sure. But all 3 of those guys. Now the 52 is not on the same lap. Given Jared Olson, but yeah, this actually may end up being a battle here for playoff points.
all right, we're going back to the front. We do see that Justin Malarkey is quite moving around, seeing what he can do against those 4, and those 4 are just going to hold on. Because now suddenly you don't need to pass 1 car, you need to pass 4 cars on the outside line. It's going to be very, very difficult. We see the 994 going into the pits. Doesn't want to have anything to do with this lead lap pack.
Jeff
Well-
Pfeiffer also going into the pits.
We are officially over the halfway point here. We missed that a couple laps ago, but yeah, looks like everybody's been settled down now. We're 9 laps in to the stint for the leaders, so expect another 20 laps or so before we get to try the pit road shenanigans once more. Well, Liam, any updates on who you think? Looks like Jared Kelly's looking pretty strong. Ryan Twynham, obviously very confident today, able to just drop back and pick up teammates. Of course, we know.
Yeah, and don't forget Joey
Pick
Styres
Joey-
on number 3.
Joey Styres is right there, and we know you've picked him before to good effect there, Liam. But look at that, Dennis Puckett comfortably in 4th spot. Is this going to be the day that Dennis Puckett gets a win?
I think so.
Think so? So you're
You
picking
think
the
that
number
Dennis
12?
Puckett?
That
Yeah.
would be
That would be spectacular.
so-
That would be spectacular, I have to say.
Well, all of these drivers are fantastic. I've raced against all of them, and I can tell you A+. And if these guys are able to stay together at the very end, it will be a wild finish. That much I can promise you. Who's going to come
Yeah.
out on top? I don't know, but
And this whole draft game is so fun when they actually have to pass other drivers. And who's going to do what exactly and where. But currently this group stays very, very close together. Of course, with 4 teammates in one team, yeah, they want to have that 4 spots. But I'm going to see it's going to be very difficult for Justin Malarkey and Nate Moore. But Nate Moore has done this before.
yeah.
He likes
And
that
by the
difficult
way,
situation.
I think
Yeah,
these guys have basically turned me into a liar. I was saying that this is a race within a race, but in fact, our leaders in this race are also in the playoffs, so it ends up being the same thing. And in fact, not only that, but of course, they are all on the same team, so they're actually working together.
and it's lazy commentating, but we say it all the time. At some point, the gloves will have to come off because even though they're teammates, they're cheering for each other right now. Everybody's going to want that win.
Yeah, but also they're quite nice guys, so I can imagine that Joey Styres says, you know what, Ryan Twyman, you can win this one, or Dennis Puckett. And he's going to help them out because he got help from them in the whole season.
But do you think so in the playoffs? These are do or die. There are elimination rounds. It's
True.
pretty serious. Yeah, that would be incredible to see. And I guess time will tell. We'll see. To Chris's earlier point, if these guys do stay together in the lead for the remainder of the race, when the gloves come off, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and when will the gloves come up? Or which time do you want to do that? Because they're not with just the 4 of them, Justin Malarkey and Nate Mower, and also don't forget Thompson right behind there is also still there. So Nick Mills is being passed, and he can maybe see if he can actually catch up with these guys. I do see some blinking going around, but looks like everybody's still on track.
I think they're good for right now, but eventually, toward the end of the race, I'm going to want to see the 73, the 971. If I'm them, and the 54, they got to start breaking up that group of Rev Racing ahead of them, because it's going to be way too easy to block any sort of runs that the last 3 or 4 guys are going to have.
True, but look at Nick Mills. Nick Mills is actually still following right over there. Let me have a look. Where is Nick Mills?
Well, he's
Yeah, Nick
38
Mills is
laps
actually
down.
so he could play a role in this. He could actually say, you know what, I'm going to help out as well.
Indeed, his car also just looks beautiful. I think he stayed into the pits for the full set of repairs. That put him 38 laps down, but he's looking fast, and his car looks perfect.
All right, so what's Cheeseman going to do? Is Cheeseman saying, hey, you know what, well, Nick Mills is going to do that. I'm going to
looks
do the
fun.
same thing. I want to be with you guys. And it looks like he's actually catching up as well. So that will make this group suddenly a lot bigger, and curious to see what they're going to do on the front.
I'm curious also what's happened with Sid Butler. Sid, was running in this lead pack of 8 for quite a long time, but he's falling back, and he's now about 8 seconds behind. He's in now a different pack with Rusty Ponberg, who's about 6 laps down, and Lewis Mitchell, newcomer in the 997 car.
Yeah, and Lewis has some difficulties to actually hold those guys. I hope he can hold that, and maybe with the 3 of them they can start working. I know Rusty Pontenberg and Sid Butler are working always together in the SNS races, so maybe they can do it over here as well. Maybe they can ask that. Yeah, go ahead.
That Texaco scheme there on the Lewis Mitchell 7. Looking really sharp. That brings me way back. Ernie Irvin days right there. Anyway, yeah. Look at this. He's going to be able to catch up. In 3 cars is going to be pretty strong. And see if they can't start closing that gap for Sid. He's now 10.5 seconds behind. So they're going to have to organize here pretty quick.
All right, we're going back to the front where we started to see a lower pack and closer, and suddenly this pack is becoming very, very big again. Everybody meets up over here. Just Malarkey on the outside, but all by himself. Look at that, he can't do anything. He needs to pass 4 cars. Nate Mower needs to help him. They need to work together, otherwise it's going to be very, very difficult to actually catch up with this whole pack.
Someone having a quiet race, but an important one, right now running in 10th position is Justin White. And so Justin's in another pack, with Gary Wright, and then some people who've had a rough time. Eric Thornton in the number 1 car, Justin Gann, another playoff contender, George Jewell, another playoff contender, and Alex Gray, another newcomer in the 994 car. And so that's another pack there that has several playoff contending drivers, and they are plugging along, and now Justin White's running in P9.
Justin Malarkey was able to shuffle back. He did get caught a bit on the outside there. He will now be tail end of that pack with lapped cars ahead of him. But of course, we still have at least one more pit stop here. Help sort things out, and he was significantly faster in that first one by about 6 seconds up the rest of the field down pit road. So let's see if we can that up. Big legs.
Justin Malarkey is now back to Nick Mills on the back over there. Curious to see what he's going to do, because Nick Mills is of course not a contender in this big group, but he can definitely help out, and that's going to be interesting to see. Currently still Kelly on the top, and Twyman right behind there with Stiers and Puckett as Rev Racing completes that top 4.
laps to go here. So the fuel window is about to open. They've got probably another 10 laps or so fuel tanks. And you want to make sure that you get enough fuel to make it not only to the end, but green, white, checkered finishes that could very well happen.
Yes. The fuel window is pretty wide just because of all of the incidents early on in this race, and so it's going to bring in a bigger strategic element for these teams and for these drivers. Do you try to pit early, a little bit of undercutting here, and then stay out? Do you pit late? And not only do you pit early or late, but what do you think about tires here?
Yeah, I'd be hard pressed unless you were under yellow to take tires, but I think part of the reason why Malarkey, so, you know, I thought it was interesting that he stayed out while the whole group went into pit, but I think ultimately that ended up working to his benefit because he was able to only do the pit stop by himself. You know, you get a bit of an accordion effect when you pit with a large group like that. If you don't have, you know, if you haven't practiced the braking zone going into it, and it can lead to slower times down pit.
Chris, tell us about this. You know, Pim and I have raced on the road course, the Roval here, several times, and
Nate
We're
Moore is
gonna
going
make
in,
out.
guys.
Oh, there's a little gamesmanship going on there. It looked to me like Joey Stires might have done a fake-out move there.
Let's have a
Well,
quick
that's gonna-
look because we did saw Nate Moore also immediately reacting, and then they all went back out.
Yeah,
And it does mean that Nate Moore actually lost now quite a bit of time over there.
Yep, in
And
fact,
he,
I believe Ryan Twynham and Joey Stires had a coordinated fake-out move right there.
yeah, but that's immediately for Justin Malarkey and Nate Moore. They're dropping. Look at that.
Hmm. Yeah, they've lost all
Yeah.
of momentum.
Wow.
I don't know about that. That's a high-speed fake out. Stacked up the field. That was dangerous for the guys in the back there. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that move. But whatever. Well, they're worked out, I guess.
The gloves are off. We were talking about that. We're 15 laps in. I think. Wow. Are they coming back? Because that's now the question. Are they going to make that work?
Yeah. Anyway, I was saying at this track, one of the things that Pim and I have experienced in road racing is the pit entry here is incredibly fast. And you have to brake so hard to come in. And I can imagine with these cars, as powerful and as fast as they are, it can be really hard to judge braking to meet the pit speed limit.
You do have to practice it in order to get it just right because it's super easy to lock up the brakes and start the road speeding penalty if you don't do it. And the drivers who practice it and able to maximize their time down pit road at a massive advantage.
So that first group is quite interesting, but also the second group over here is quite nice. Skip Butler is driving along with George Jewell, Gary Wright, Marshall Scully, and I think that's Justin Gann still with his broken car. It's not that broken. He can still manage to keep up with this group. If that group comes back in the back as well, then we basically have two groups running around. The ref racing against the rest.
I noticed in the stream that someone has asked a question about the standings. And, you know, the thing about this being the first playoffs is that the 14 cars in the playoffs all have had their points equalized. And so they are all tied, essentially, for first place coming into this race and had their points reset to 2,000. And so as we call out cars that are in the playoffs, they're all equal to each other in this race.
It seems that we have 23 laps to go, and this ref racing group just makes it work. I don't think there's many changes going on. Is Thompson also ref racing, or is he? Because otherwise we just basically have everybody with Nick Mills, who is not running over here because he's a couple of laps down.
Good question. I do not believe that to be the case, though.
All right, he's going to be the outsider right in this group. I do see that the group behind them is really dropping back. I don't think they're coming back if we don't get any yellows anymore, which is of course possible.
Well, they're just not very organized right now. You can see the separation between the 3 cars, and now we do have the whole front group's coming down pit road, and we're gonna have an accident. Joey Steyrs is off. Holy
the
cow!
54, Josh Thompson, who wasn't expecting, and that's the key thing. If you're not in that team and they're all going in, then you need to act very quickly. And Josh Thompson is actually coming. Was he towing? He was towing. I think he towed. I think he's going to have a problem. And we saw Malarkey missing his pit stop as well. Joey Steyrs is still in. I see Malarkey going out already. Look at that, Malarkey. Malarkey is following. Nate Mower is going quick. Where's Ryan Twyman? Ryan Twyman is already out. Look at that, Ryan Twyman is running away. Is he going to wait again for Joey Steyrs, or is he going to say, no, 22 laps to go, and I'm going to run this till the end?
Well, that'll be tough. It does look like these guys are going to have to get themselves collected again and work their way up. I mean, if nothing else, you're going to have Nick Mills pushing Justin Malarkey here. They're going to catch Nate, and then at that point, it's going to be a freight train.
I'm not sure what happened with tactics. It was also organized, and suddenly these 4 ref racers are not anymore in the front. And we see George Jewell coming into the pit right now as a leader, and that means that Ryan Twyman is going to take over the lead. He is now coming over finish line, and he is going to take the leader again, with Kelly right behind him, and Nate Mower and Malarkey are right up there. Where is Joey Steyrs? Oh, sorry. Joey Steyrs is number 3. I was.
Yeah, and then, Dennis Puckett got hung out to dry there a little bit. He's going to be off the back of the Steyrs, Maurer, and Malarkey. Sure.
Right, with Justin Malarkey ahead of him. Yep.
So it does look like Steyrs.
Drop Thompson. They did drop Thompson, guys. Look at that.
Steyrs and Kelly now have hooked up, and so this is tense times to see if this Maurer, Malarkey, and Mills group can catch up before Kelly and Steyrs get ahead of steam. It does look like Ryan Twyman's going to be dropping back to catch them as well. It does look like everybody's within the draft zone, and we will
Nate Mower has
restack.
a run. Look at that. Nate Mower has a run and goes to the outside. Is he going to make that move? He's going to make that move. He's going to go 3 wide. Kelly is going to be in the defense. But we see Nate Mower going to the front and actually takes that position. And Malarkey is right behind there. Are they going to break up this ref racing?
No, Malarkey tried to follow. He was just a touch too late, though. Just about a fraction of a second. And he's not going to be able to clear that 8 car. So he's going to have to drop all the way back.
No, but this does make it a lot more interesting with Nate Mower in the front, and Twyman and Kelly and Steyrs are right behind them, teammates from each other. Are they going to do something against Nate Mower, our Simbox driver?
Yeah, you can see the 8 car backing it up off of Nate Mower, presumably to try to get a run here.
Yeah, in fact, it is very tactical here. With Ryan Twyman, in fact, it's working. Just getting the help from the 55 car of Jared Kelly and Joey Steyrs, Nick Mills, all teammates. And then, of course, Justin Malarkey is going to benefit from that and get around Nate Moore as well.
Yeah, I think the 971 and the 73 are going to have to work together here.
Yeah, they definitely have to work together. Liam, what do you think so far of this race? Liam, I think you're muted. We would love to. Yeah. Here you go.
It is going pretty intense so far. There's only 19 laps to go, and there's a lot of people trying to battle for first.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I'm not sure your contester is still in up here. I'm hoping that Twyman is going to win, but yeah, you are always right. So
Yeah, we will
what
see.
to do?
There's a lot of race still left, and obviously, unfortunate for Dennis Puckett, he lost the draft pack there, but this race is far from over.
Yeah, Dennis
for
Puckett
Dennis,
is
it's going to be
really
big.
out on the island all by himself, as is Justin White, running in P7. P6, P7, those are good positions, great positions, even in these playoffs, and they are 2 playoff contenders, but they are all out by themselves without any draft partners.
Yep, Chris, you driven this track before. What do you do when you're Justin White and you're driving all alone by yourself like this?
It's the worst feeling in the world because you're going, close to maybe 15 miles an hour slower, if not more, than everybody else around you, and you're just helpless to do anything. But this is where that mental toughness comes in, and understanding that if you're a playoff driver, it is important to get out there and turn those laps because you just never know what's going to happen.
I do say that we missed Nate Moore falling a little bit back and is actually now behind Justin Malarkey. So they're regrouping for those last 16 laps that we're going. Can they do anything against the Ref Racing team hierarchy right now? Twyman, Kelly, and Steyrs on the front, taking that full podium over here.
Yeah, it looks like a Rev Racing formation, P1, 2, 3, and then their teammate Nick Mills, who has a freshly repaired car, almost acting like a blocker, a rear guard blocker for them. Less than 15 laps to go. This time around, there will be 14 laps remaining in this race.
Too early to make any moves, obviously, and ultimately, you're not going to want to be out in the lead, I don't think, going on to that last lap, because that's really what we're all building up to here, is that final lap and when you make it. I think a lot of the moves that we've been seeing up until this point have just been poking and prodding and testing the waters and seeing how and why you can get a run and where that can happen. And all that is storing that information away for that final lap.
Yeah, and they have to go again past someone, but they do that very well as a group.
We've been talking a lot about Nick Mills. He's in the playoffs and running in last place amongst the playoff contenders in this race right now, but right in the mix of things. But while we're mentioning him, Kevin Bullock, has been plugging along. He's 20 laps down, but he's running on track right now, listed in P23. And Jared Olson, David Medina, David Buell in P17, 16, and 15.
Yeah,
Maybe
Dennis
one
Puckett
more.
is all by himself over there. That's going to be difficult to keep up.
Yeah, so difficult. One more playoff contender to call out, Justin Gann running in P11. He is one lap down and he is in the yellow dog position.
Yeah, that would be something if we actually get another yellow up here. But I hope for Justin Gann it's going to happen. I hope for Ref Racing it's not going to happen because Ryan Twyman is still in that lead. Jared Kelly right behind him, and Joey Steyrs is up there as well. It's all about Justin Malarkey and Nate Moore. Are you guys going to follow? Or are you going to take that attack mode? Ideally, I say actually, yeah.
We keep collecting cars that are a lap or more down, which adds to the spice here as we go 3 wide, trying to pass the 62. I'm sure these drivers are just trying to hold on to the back and may not tangle it up since they're not in position. for the race win. But it does add to the dynamics of the race and for potential pushers to get you up to the front of the pack there.
So, Chris, one way that the gloves come off is, after those 2 early full course cautions, these drivers have been way, way more careful, avoiding really getting into close bump drafting situations. But at the end of the race, do they start to throw caution to the wind and get back into bump drafting?
Oh, 100%. 100% they have to. And, we were talking earlier about quote unquote letting some drivers by, and I don't think that's gonna be the case here.
No, but look at this. Nick Mills is Nick Mills is really turning into be one chicane over there. And really, it's not working because Malarkey hasn't run on that outside. Can he get enough people over there to actually keep a run? Nick Mills on the inside. He needs to move up, but he's getting stuck over there.
Malarkey just goes to the outside and nobody's following him. I'm super surprised that Nate Maurer did not go with him there. And
I think Nate Maurer was stuck over there. He couldn't get really to the outside, but that immediately means that Malarkey is going all the way to the back, and we only have 10 more laps to go. Is that enough? Is he able to actually keep it up over there? It's going all the way to the back. One more run does he need, because Ryan Twyman has taken so many lead laps right now. Together with Kelly, they're really running this race.
Yeah, 73 down but not out. The 971 in a great position here, and it's just gonna.
Yeah, look at this, and Nick Mills is now actually defending the outside line. So it is really going to be difficult for them to come back. Malarkey is trying to get on that outside line. It is currently held on by Nick Mills. I don't think it's possible. And I don't think Nate Moore doing something. He's getting closer to those 4 in the front. Is he going to get a run of it? It's 9 laps to go. They need to cooperate more on that outside line, because otherwise Twyman, Kelly and Stiers are just going to run with that podium.
Well, keep your eye on that 63 car, Marshall Scully. I believe he's going to play a factor in this race. If he's going to help the 971 out or not, I doubt it. Just based on team allegiances here, he is on in that Rev Racing group technically. The 1 car in there mixing it up, he could throw a wrench in the works here for Rev Racing. So.
Well, and
again,
we know.
I remember last race, Peter. This was such an exciting race with such a crazy ending.
Absolutely. And, I think the 63 car and the 1 car, to Chris's point, we know they're fast. We saw that they qualified well up in the field. It really does come down to who's willing to help whom here. Are they willing to help Nate Moore?
Well, I don't think Nate can expect a lot of people. I think Doc Neal with his Simbox needs to recruit some more people. I do hear that you get really nice outings when you're in his team. I thought Nate was in Atlanta this weekend. I do see, is he making a move? He is looking everywhere. He is so close to Joey Stiers on the moment. When we go over the line, we have 7 more laps to go, or 6 more laps to go.
Well, I would love to know what the heart rates are of these lead pack drivers. It's got to be tense.
Here they're coming onto that straight, and it's such a speed that they have. Yeah, and the bump drafting comes back there, or at least we're getting really close to the bump drafting. Nate Moore is trying to be so close to Joey Stiers. He's expecting a lot more, but we see Justin Malarkey again on the outside. Look at that. Is Nate Moore now going to follow him? Is Nate Moore going to the outside? Is he going to help, or is he still staying in that inner line? Malarkey is trying everything he can. He's done this now a couple of times, but he needs more help. He does got, I think it's Cheeseman on the back over there.
There you go. That's Spoken teammate Cheeseman, but he's running without a hood, so I hope he's able to push them a little bit up. But yeah, this is looking like a rev racing podium at the moment.
But look at this, we're going to get some outside. Are there some back markers? Is this going to be making it a little bit more difficult? We're 5 laps to go. After this is going to be 4 laps.
Boy, and it's just looking like Marshall Scully is in such an important position here right now.
Oh, we got
we
contact.
have a
The
question.
70s are out.
Malarkey.
They saved it.
Malarkey saved
Malarkey
it.
and-
Malarkey can go back into the pack. Amazing.
Yep, the Marshall Scully, Marshall Scully and Justin Malarkey bumped doors, but they saved their cars, and so now it is the 76 car of Sean Cheeseman, along with Eric Thornton, but Sean Cheeseman sort of inherits that Marshall Scully position, and so now does Sean Cheeseman help Nate Moore here?
Well, we have Twyman in front, Kelly right behind him, Joey Stiers. We've seen this now for 20 laps. Is there going to be any change on this, or are we going to run these 4 laps like this? Nate Moore, what is he able to do all alone by himself over there?
Yeah, these are tense times, so like we said, you don't want to make your move too early. Last lap probably best, but then again, you gotta be thinking. What's their ability, ESP ability to communicate without communicating with the 76 and the 1? And will they go with the 971 if he jumps to the outside?
Yeah, and Justin Malarkey is really on the back. Is going to try it one more time to go on that outside. Tries to see if he can get anything done. Really driver of the day, Justin Malarkey, just by fighting so hard against all those ref racers.
I thought he was. There's no way he was going to be able to catch back up with this lead pack, but yeah, it's going to be tough sledding on the outside there by himself. So he's going to.
I don't know.
He's going to need some help.
I think about last race. There was, I think, Justin Malarkey also getting really close to Joey Stiers. But now I think we need to have the eyes open for Nate Moore. Is he going to make a move? He's still staying on that inside line, and then we do see Joey Stiers falling a little bit back. Is he going to make a gap so that Twyman and Kelly can actually run and go for that victory, or is there going to be anything else?
Caution!
We have a caution! No, we have a caution. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a caution.
Justin Gann, George Jewell, and oh boy, and that again, that will just cause a green-white checker finish for this race, but also that is the incident that involves, again, some of our playoff contenders.
Wow, yeah, there's a stack up of the cars there. George Jewell went for a heck of a ride.
I'm going to see if we can drive along with him to see what exactly happened, because that was crazy. We see Scully coming back on the track, so he is able, he's able to drive back home.
Poor Justin Gann really had nowhere to go. Just completely caught up in it.
Well, I do believe there's only one green-white checkered attempt.
Well, while you do that, I'm going to have a quick look if we can see what happened with him. So George Jewell is driving over there right behind, and we see it was actually Puckett who hit, and then we go all the way up. Wow.
Yeah, wow is right, Tim.
Unfortunate there.
I hope he's not in VR, because that makes it even more scary over there. This is George Jewell.
This is one of those things sometimes when I watch NASCAR on TV, I think these guys do this on purpose in order to heighten the drama for the telecast.
Which we appreciate, by the way.
Yes.
We appreciate a lot, yes, definitely. Here we see it one more time.
I'll tell you what a bittersweet moment there for the 12 car. He wanted that caution to come out so he was be able to compete there for the win, but he was involved, so he's missing the front end now. Kind of
Yep. So
nullifies.
Gary Wright is the lucky dog, the yellow dog, right now, and is making his way around.
Who is it? Sorry.
Gary Wright.
Where is Gary?
Gary Wright's car looks pretty clean from what
Yeah.
I can tell here. So
So-
this is going to put him into contention. Let's not
It
count him
will.
out just yet.
It will indeed. It puts him on the lead lap in P8, and he'll be part of this lead pack. If he can catch
Interesting
up.
here. We expected Puckett and White to pit. Gary Wright, your yellow dog, will come down pit road as well. Justin Malarkey also coming down pit road. I guess he's not going to end up losing any spots. Looks like he was fixing some damage there potentially.
All right, so what are we going to do? What is going to be the tactic? We have 3 Rev racers in front of us.
Well,
And
this
the
will.
lights are off. The lights. Oh no, the lights are on. No. We're going a little bit slower, getting people a little bit more the chance to come back.
I'm very curious about the condition of the 30 car of Justin Gann right now. Justin's being listed in 10th position right now, but he got caught up. Now he's a couple of laps down, of course, but he could play a role here because along with Justin Malarkey and Sean Cheeseman, they're all Fulcum teammates. Yeah.
Well,
That
and,
would be great if we see a really nice fight on the end.
Yeah.
and check out the 12 car. Looks like they were able to reattach the front bumper there. So maybe the 12 isn't out of it ultimately. Same with Justin White there in the 28.
I do like their stickers in the front of the Premier League. Dennis does a nice job with this league. Running currently on the 7th position, needs to run back to actually catch up with the pack. Because the lights are off right now. Look at that, the lights are off with 3 laps to go here in Daytona. With Twyman, Kelly and Joey Styres in the front and Nate Mower on that outside line. I don't think that's a bad thing for Nate Mower. If he can get a good run on Kelly and can see if he can get to that position, then everything is still to play for with 3 laps to go.
Try to get these cars stacked right back up. And yeah, this is actually could work out for the 55 car and the 971. We've seen that top line be very effective when you bunch these cars up appropriately.
And don't forget
Right.
about the 76 car.
And we are getting ready. Twyman will definitely say to his team members, let's go, let's go. And we see Kelly making a big mistake, going off track, and that's going to cost him, but that's also going to cost Malarkey.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a mistake. That looked... Yeah, anyway. Looks like 971 and the 73 will finally connect, although the 8 and the 23 with a full head of steam, that's going to be a really
And
tough combo
finally,
to get around.
finally we see Nate Mower working together with Malarkey, and they're coming on that side. And now it's going to be Twyman Styres against Malarkey and Mower. This is going to be the battle for 2 laps to go. Is Malarkey coming back with Nate Mower? They're going to that outside. It's now 2x2. They have a lot of speed going on. Nate Moore needs to push Justin Malarkey. Oh, and we see Twyman is trying to block, but that's not going to work. We see Malarkey still pushing ahead. It's 3 wide going here.
White flag, white flag.
They were trying to do a
And
little
Twyman-
bit of side drafting there. They're going to end up 3 wide, though. Malarkey unable to get back down in front of the 971. They will have one more chance at this with the 73 getting back down in line. There just isn't a lot that these drivers are going to have. Let's see if the 23 ultimately can take this away from the 8, or if the 8's going to be able to hold strong.
Yeah, and we're seeing that it looks very difficult. It needs to be all on that last little pack. We have Nate Moore there on the outside. He needs to get a push from Justin Malarkey. But we see Joey Styres now trying to defend that really hard. Wants to give that up to... we see crashing from Nate Moore, and it's Justin Malarkey. And we
Jared
actually
Kelly Yeah, Jared Kelly got into Nate Moore, but they're still going.
And it's Joey Styres who wins this race in front of Ryan Twyman. Joey Styres was defending really, really hard against all these guys, and Dennis Puckett comes on to the 3rd position. Justin White on 4th, Nate Moore in there, and they're still standing in front of the. They're still not over the line. Look at that.
Nate
There's
Moore
gonna be a lot of
finished.
discussion about this finish.
Yeah, Nate Moore actually finished the race going in reverse to cross the start-finish line.
Justin Malarkey is still not finished. Doesn't want to finish anymore. Standing there on that line. Wow.
He's
All
trying
right,
to let
I know that
somebody
our
by. I'm not
Discord,
sure what happened here.
our Discord can happen sometimes. Get into a drive to survive, but this is going to be a crazy, crazy week.
Oh,
I want to bet you. Wow. We do see that Joey Styres took the official part from the Twyman. It's actually pretty much the same thing as what happened last race here in Daytona.
wow.
Here you see that big crash coming out, and right over there.
So our podium: Joey Styres, Ryan Twynham, Dennis Puckett. 3
It is a Rev Racing, yeah, but we didn't expect it in this matter. I'll be honest with you. Wow.
And our top 6 finishers are all playoff contenders, because after those 3 is Justin White in P4, Nate Moore in P5, Jared Kelly in P6. Justin Gann did well, finishing 2 laps down, but finished in P11.
Well, and Joey Styres won with 0.0036 from Ryan Twyman, and Dennis Puckett with 7 seconds right behind there. Wow, this was a messy race in the beginning and a messy race in the end. I am really curious about all the comments from everybody. I think they're coming people in, Chris. Let's see what they have to say.
Well, let's start with race winner Joey Styres in the 23 car, able to pull off a move on the outside right at the end for teammate Ryan Twynham. Joey, talk us through the intense green-white checkered finish.
Man, what a fantastic race by Rev Race, and our strategy just all race long worked out really well. We drafted really well, and on that last pit stop we had the 54 with us, and we tried to do a surprise pit move, and he pitted late with us, and he kind of spun around and kind of hit a couple of us, and we got damaged pretty good. I had about 35 seconds of damage, and somehow was just able to keep up with Ryan and Dennis and Nate and everybody else up here, Jared Kelly. I mean, man, what an awesome race for us. We just somehow got it done. I really don't know. I was going to push Ryan to the win there and kind of block Nate as much as I could, and he gave me a good bump going into 3, and I had just enough momentum to get around Ryan, and then I saw Nate spinning in my mirror, so I was like, all right, it's just me and Ryan here, and somehow beat him to the line. So that's pretty incredible.
Well, speaking of Ryan Twynham in the 8 there, coming home in a close second by only 0.003 is what we were showing in our tower here. But Ryan, talk us through the final few laps there.
How about that, huh? Wow. If you're going to tell me my first top 5 of the season was going to be Rev Racing 1, 2, 3, I would take that weight. So I'm glad it happened first race of the playoffs. And to be honest, that first wreck, I was down on power. So I don't know how I was able to stick in the top 3 all race long. So when I saw Joe go to the outside, I knew he was probably going to beat me to the line. But I mean, losing in that fashion we had a perfect race. The entire team did. And I just like, this is a better feeling than any win I've ever gotten. This is awesome. It was what a great race for Rev.
Yeah, speaking of which, Dennis Puckett, I know usually just joins to listen, but I gotta say, podium winner here in that 12 car, who looked like he was kind of down and out. The last caution came out, which breathed some life into it, and ultimately pulled out a top 3. Liam had you for the win early on, but Yeah, what was that like? Was that a sigh of relief when that last caution came out?
Well, no, because I caused it. Let's go.
Oh, that's
let's
right.
go.
That's right.
Yeah,
You were
let's
in
go
it.
a little bit before that. Rev Races running 1 through 4 on lap 60. We decided to pit. I overshoot my pit box, and then I'm too far to the left, so I lost a ton of time right there, and so I lost the pack. So I'm down in 6th. Justin and George coming past me, but then we caught some lap traffic. They didn't get out of the way. They didn't hold a line. I don't know exactly what happened, but Justin was slowing up, and so I'm trying to stay off of him, and I couldn't, and I end up hitting him. So I got about a minute of optionals out of that. So we restart. I'm in 6th, all the way in the back, man. So let's just racing. Let's keep 6th. That's a really good finish for me, anyways. And then I see him wrecking coming off of 4 to the end of the race there, and I was like, well, shit, that's gotta put some people on the lead lap in that. Well, just don't hit nobody and get around them. Let's see what happens. Damn, if I don't get 3rd, dude, that's awesome. I love it. This league is so much fun, man.
Well, it was, and we almost missed it because there was just so much carnage there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're able to sneak all the way through, and it's not really what you would ever expect, but if you're able to pull that out, man, hats off. That was a lot of fun to watch. I'm sure there's going to be some frustration, but it was somebody who was running up there in that top 4 for most of it, and ended up being the 971, getting in, basically starting domino effect there. But Jared Kelly in the 55 ultimately able to pull out a top 6, so not a terrible day, terrible way to end the day, but I'm sure was probably looking for more there, Jared.
Yeah, usually going into these things, I say I like them, and usually by the end of them, I say I hate super speedway racing just because I get told in 48 laps down. But somehow today we were able to run top 4, lead a bunch of laps. There at the end, Nate, when we were battling there, Nate pulled down, and I mean, I just didn't lift off the throttle. It's one of those things where it's last lap, you just gotta get going. I was hoping that maybe he'd slide up and try and pass, and I get 3rd, but it just caused a big old wreck at the start-finish line, and I've got a lot of work to do over the weekend or the weekday to get that car ready for next week.
Love it. Well, yeah, it's overall pretty good start. I mean, there's a lot of the playoff contenders involved in that big one on lap 3 there, right off the bat. What's that like when something like an accident takes out the majority of the field in the start of the race? Like, what goes through your mind?
Well, we were practicing yesterday, and I kind of said that a wreck was going to happen early on. It always does. Just people are trying to get position right off the bat, but you gotta be smart and conservative at the start of these races, and ultimately it paid off there until the final lap. But yeah, when that wreck happened, you just gotta make a decision to either let off the throttle or push it to the floor and start praying.
Well, speaking of conservative here, it looks like Justin White's in the booth with us, ended up with a top 4 on the day, and I bring that up because up 24 spots, so obviously qualifying in the back of the field, it felt like that was the place to be to start. Talk to us about your race.
Yeah, I was sitting here getting ready to log in, run a few practice laps. It was about 9:30ish, and the power goes out, and I'm like, seriously, really, right now? Dennis said that he paid the power guys off. I'm like, well, geez, maybe a couple more Benjamins will make them turn it back on. And luckily they did right before like literally 5 minutes left to qualifying. So I'm sitting here scrambling around trying to get all my stuff set up, situated, because I haven't raced since Tuesday of last week. So I got it all situated. Wasn't able to actually turn a qualifying lap. So started in the back, and that's where I needed to be, because obviously that was a huge wreck on lap 3. Took out a lot of good guys quickly.
Yeah, able to, so kind of a hectic start to the day, but ended up in 4th place overall. I got to be pretty happy with that result.
Yes, very happy with that result. Like I said, I told Joey in the middle of the race I want to hang off about a second and a half to the leaders, to the lead pack, because I know they're going to wreck again. And sure enough, they did again. And then once I got on that pit strategy, I kind of got caught out out of the draft, so I fell way back. And I knew at that point, kind of looking at the leaderboard, as long as I stayed where I was at, I was going to finish, maybe a lap down in the top 10, which I was fine with, especially Daytona. Either you hate it or you love it. If everybody goes home happy at the end of Daytona, then you ain't racing Daytona correctly. So, it's a super speedway. Everybody has a chance to win it, regardless of skill or car level. So it doesn't really matter at that point. Just kind of staying out of the trouble is what gets you towards the front.
Yeah, and that's 100%. I could not agree with that more. Short track racing, super speedway racing, it gets, when the gloves come off and it's time to go, man, it's going to lead to some some hurt feelings, but it's a lot of fun for us to watch, and really happy for you there with the top 5 finish.
Yep, I'll take that every day of the week.
Right, yeah, especially at a place like Daytona. Holy cow, and anything can happen. Speaking of anything can happen, 63 car here of Marshall Scully mixing it up there in the front, and just got collected in that last accident there. Man, in that 63 car, talk to us about your race today.
Man, the car was fast. It was good on the track, and the pit, both times I went in the pit, I lost it. I turned it sideways on the first one in, and got a speeding penalty on the second one. Other than that, on the track, it was all good. Communicating with the Rev Racing guys, they were, kept me on my P's and Q's. If I could have just made a good pit, I would have liked to have been up there in the mix at the end.
Yeah, well, again, not to be repetitive here, but a top 10 out of all that craziness has still got to feel pretty good on the day, right?
Yeah, I'll take it, man. Any day of the week, I'll take it.
That's great, man. Well, best of luck. Obviously not in playoff contention, just because it not certainly be out of lack of speed for sure from your machine there. Just able to make the majority of the races. But what are your goals here for the rest of the playoffs?
Rest of the playoffs, are just stay in the mix. I'll take some more top 10s and hopefully not getting any these playoff contenders' way, but still race them hard.
Absolutely, look forward to that. Also joining us is the 76 of Sean Cheeseman, who's running without a hood for the majority of the race there. Unfortunately, we thought maybe might have something with Folcom teammate Justin Malarkey there at the very end. And then obviously things went sideways, as they say. Talk to us about your race there, Sean.
Yeah, well, after the lap 3 wreck there, it was a pretty rough race. I spent most of the time getting the car repaired. And once I got up in that lead group and I saw I could push Justin there, I figured, we might as well give it a shot to get one of the Folcom guys the win, but didn't work out.
That's good perseverance there, though. It is tough. We talked a little bit about it, but when your car is damaged that early on, what's that mental? what's the thought process there? How do you get over that mental hurdle to keep out there and keep running laps?
Yeah, I tell you, I don't think I've ever raced such a boring Daytona race. Once you're damaged, just riding around to try to gain points is all you can do.
Well, it worked out pretty well. 12th spot, 12th place overall on the day, despite being caught up in that early accident. So got to be pretty happy with that, and looking forward to Kansas. You feel pretty confident there.
Yeah, Kansas has been a pretty good track for me, so I'm looking forward to it. Not, that Roval scares me a lot, but we'll just try to stay on the track.
Awesome, man. Well, looking forward to it, and let's run down through the field. I think we've got our interviews done here, but we'll give Joey Stiers the first chance here. Some final shout-outs, and congratulations once again on the victory.
Yeah, thanks. First, I want to give a big shout-out to my Rev Racing teammates, Ryan Twynham, Dennis Puckett, Jared Kelly, Nick Mills, and today we had Marshall Scully help us out too, so really appreciate the help there. And we had 3 Illinois boys in Rev here in the top 6, and I couldn't be more proud of that, representing Illinois. And a huge shout out to Justice Wyman, Macy Mitchell, Tyler and Lexi Flynn, and all the kids back here in Mackinac. Thanks for watching, guys. And you guys up in the broadcast booth. I mean, I can't wait to go back and watch this race.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't disappoint. It's tough to capture all of the awesome stuff that was happening. That you guys put on a heck of a show. Speaking of that, Ryan Twynham leading a lot of laps today. Ultimately came up just short to his teammate, but a hell of a race there for the A car. Any final shout outs?
I just right what Joe said. This is, my favorite race to go back and watch is when you and I battled Chris at Talladega, and it was just you and I for the last 10, 15 laps. And I think this one's going to take the cake. And it's funny because in my interview there, I go, I said, hey, it's perfect and boring, but apparently that's what I needed to win. And to this day, that's my only win in this league. And, but Sean saying it was a boring race, I guess I like boring races. So, shout out to you guys in the booth. What a great race for all the Rev guys. Shout out to Nate, being able to hang with us with no help virtually. And then, it's just an amazing race, an amazing group of guys we have, and I've definitely had more disappointing finishes, but I'm very happy losing the way I did today. So, what else how else can I start my morning off? What a great day.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's a great day to be a race fan for sure. It's definitely us who get to watch it. But yeah, really exciting, good start for Rev Racing for the start of the playoffs there. Looking forward to seeing what you guys can pull off for the next couple races, Kansas and the Roval coming up. Dennis Puckett there, third place. Speaking of great starts to the playoffs there, any final thoughts there from you, Dennis?
Yeah, I wanted a good win here because we have the Roval coming up, or a good finish here, so that's awesome. Thanks to everybody for being here. Thanks to Rev Racing, great group of guys there that we can help each other, and teammate racing on super speedways is awesome. So thanks to the guys. Thanks to you guys in the booth. Make sure everybody listening hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. You just saw good racing, so you can see it a lot of weeks. So thanks everybody.
100%. You guys put on a heck of a show, like we've said many times, week in, week out. It never disappoints. So it's our pleasure to bring this to all the adoring fans out there. Speaking of, we've got Justin White, I'm sure with some adoring fans out there, bringing it home, limping it across the line there, but in fourth position overall. Great start to the playoffs for you. Final shout outs there.
Just a shout out to everybody who helps put the league on. You guys for broadcasting. I know, like I said, some of the most jobs, or the most tedious jobs, are the ones that are the less thankful jobs, like adminning, broadcasting, things like that. So, if it weren't for you guys, people wouldn't be able to, come and watch us race. If it weren't for you guys and the admins, dealing with all of us and our attitudes and problems that we have and trying to keep them at bay. So appreciate you guys doing that. Because it's definitely a thankless job at times. Shout out to Gruns, my sponsor, for giving me the sponsorship that they do, and shout out to Nate, who I really didn't talk to today because he's on vacation but racing, which is, hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? Stay in the playoffs. And shout out to the rest of my teammates, Doug and David Beal, for hanging in there with us each week. We'll just keep after it. And hopefully, like I said, this first round was going to be the roughest round because Daytona and the Roval are the two that I'm kind of like, I don't know how this is going to go. So Daytona come out on top. We'll see what happens with the Roval. Maybe I've gotten a little bit better at road coursing. So
there you go. Yeah, that's gonna the amount of time put into practice is gonna be pretty evident there on the Roval. That one's a tough one for sure, but we are looking forward to watching it. Absolutely, and best of luck there. Yeah, in the next couple races. We do, obviously we want to give a shout out there to Nate, we have already, but man, the dedication to bring the rig and show up on vacation, awesome stuff there from the Simbox team. And, great finish there from this one. So let's see, who else do we got in here? Jared Kelly in the 55, running good all day, man. Any final shout outs for you?
Yeah, just the Rev Racing teammates letting me join up with them and racing with them. Definitely showing a lot of speed here early into the playoffs. But you guys and Dennis for putting on the league. I really enjoy this league. It's up there to where I have to schedule it in with my dirt racing schedule, with practices being on Sundays as well. So I really enjoy this league. It's a bunch of great guys racing hard. I always brag that this isn't just a casual league. This is very competitive, and we all want bragging rights. So I really enjoy this.
Yeah, this one is definitely one of this is the season trophy that you want, is the Bonfire Racing League trophy, man. This is a lot of great drivers, and it's well earned if you are able to come out on top at the end of the season. For sure. Unfortunately, Liam has had to leave. I will say he did not pick the race winner, but Dennis Puckett, I believe, got a little bit of extra juice there from Liam picking him and ending up in third. So I don't know.
Hey, that's
There's
an
anything
honor.
to that. Yeah, right.
That's an honor. I appreciate the pick.
I'm
If
sure.
I'd known that, I would have tried harder.
Well, it was. I thought it was a solid pick overall. But I can't wait to get his thoughts on that next week. There when he joins us.
Well, we hopefully hear that, Chris, tonight, because tonight we do have another race coming up, our Sunday Night Skippy, Formula 1 and Formula 2. And I'm not sure if you've seen the track, but it's going to be an amazing race.
100%, man. And I'll tell you what a great way to kick off the playoffs, because the emotion that I'm seeing in the Discord now, amazing stuff. I love it. We need a Bonfire Racing League Drive to Survive. This is great going into Kansas. Gentlemen, the gloves are off, man. This is so great to watch.
The gloves are off. That's a good way to end this race. I want to thank all our viewers. It was great that you are again here at KFOK Racing Network, listening to our fun broadcast. We have a lot of fun in it. Chris and Peter, thanks very much for joining us. For everybody else, come watch us tonight. 8 o'clock, we'll be there for our Sunday night Formula 2. And for now, have a great Sunday.
Yeah.